time. You know what I mean? So it's very durable.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to know?
That's it for now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so I'll go on my way.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Influencers Network.
Right.
I'm sitting here with my father, the original Mark Steele.
The original, there was another one before it.
He's the first one. I'm the second.
Okay, yeah. How you doing, man?
Good.
I'm
How
good.
you doing? Good.
Thanks for tuning in. This brethren has been trying to get a hold of me, but
On a celebrity schedule, so it's been tough.
well, to you, I'm not a celebrity.
Right.
You just open up my house, I'll come and eat off my food.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, you just eat my food, brethren. So when you come to my house, no celebrity thing. You know what I mean? You just do what you want to do.
Of course, it's home.
When you're younger, you used to drink my milk, them. Just
Right.
come over, ask for the milk and tell me you're a growing child. But
Okay, so today's Father's Day. Father's Day today, of course, had to come by and celebrate. What better day to record
right.
my father, which is just one more influencer, entrepreneur, professional in the industry that I haven't spoken to yet on camera.
Right.
Talk about fatherhood, talk about the music industry,
Right.
anything else that comes up.
Yeah.
So before getting into the music that you're doing here in Toronto and spreading all over the world, tell us about how you started. How did you get into the music game?
Well, you know, I mean, as you know, I mean, I'm born Jamaican. And just like most Jamaicans, you know, I mean, we're very talented in certain aspects of life. A lot of us are primarily, you know, very talented when it comes down to music. But I grew up in the church. I was born in Lucy, Hanover. I grew up in the church and my parents was on the choir, you know what I mean? From that time, you know, dealing with sounds and, you know, creativity, I know there was something there. So I started singing in the church too. Got influence in the church. After that, I started going to school in Montego Bay, Herbert Morrison Comprehensive High School, where there was actually a band called the Mystic Force Band, you know, and I'm not gonna lie to you, them the time that the only reason why we want to get into music are girl.
Right. So that was the main motivation.
That was the only motivation.
Okay.
You're not getting paid in high school.
Right.
So, but
Other
you know,
perks to it.
Yeah, there was perks because I used to go by the band room and I saw, you know, the band was inside there rehearsing before I got involved, and I see the amount of girls who are lined up, and I'm like, wow, this looks like something I would like to be.
For real.
Yeah, but so I did an audition for the band, and, you know, got in, I started doing backup harmony singing before, and then after that, I just, you know what I mean? I really started, you know, expressing myself with the lovers rock and the ballads and stuff like that. You know, I remember one of the first songs that I ever sang was All Out of Love by Air Supply, and you know, that was great to receive, and I said, yo, I'm on to something.
Yeah.
So after high school, you know, I said I wanted to take it further, so I went to Kingston for a couple of years to live, you know what I mean, Delamere Avenue, big up to the Waltham 13 people, and that's where I met Tristan Palmer. You know, you might not know him because, you know, you're born Canadian.
Right.
But Tristan Palmer was one of the greatest those times doing the dancehall. So he did songs like Entertainment.
Right.
You know, so, you know, I mean, I remember doing an audition for Tristan Palmer on the wall. We're sitting on a wall and he told me to sing. And, you know, I knew that if I wanted to do this, shy thing don't work. So I had to just sing. That night we were actually in Tough Gang studio recording, you know, so that was my first, you know, limelight per se, as far as, you know, the music industry and recording. You know what I mean? The song started getting promotion after that, but then the migration thing came into place, you know, and, you know, that's kind of the first start that I got in it. You know?
And my earliest memory of you in music was with your band Tactics when you were down here.
True.
Tell us about how that group formed, where that went.
Well, you know, coming into Toronto, Tactics actually, you know, I mean, was a little bit later because before that, you know, there were some other guys that I used to play around with. You know, I mean, there was a group called the House of David crew. You know, those times I was playing the drums. You know what I mean? So I was, you know, I went to do some stuff with the House of David crew. And, you know, after that I moved on to different things, and then Tactics came along. You know, with Tactics, that I to date, that's probably, you know, that's a great experience for me. And I'll tell you why. Tactics exposed me to a lot of different, you know, elements. I met, you know, Jones and Jones promotion. And at the time, you know, she was actively doing some work with Tactics. And, you know, that started giving me the exposure, you know, to do, you know, a lot of things. So Tactics was a great experience for me. We used to do shows at the Bamboo. Most of the major festivals, Tactics were the band to do it.
Yeah.
If it's not in a backup capacity, was us do the performance, you know, and open up for a lot of these major acts coming out of Jamaica. So that was a good vibes. And after Tactics, I, you know, decided that I want to go solo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you about that, because I know one of the big questions I've had about the music industry in general is when you have a band that's working well together, like Destiny's Child, NSYNC, for example.
Right.
How do the lead singers decide it's time to go solo?
Well, you know, a lot of things influences the decision a lot of times, you know what I mean? Groups like Destiny's Child, and so if your approach, you know, I'm not going to even lie to you, sometimes it's selfishness, but sometimes it's work ethics, you know what I mean? So, you know, a promoter or a producer or a manager may come to you and say, listen, we can get you this far, you know what I mean? It is a little bit more difficult as a group, but as a solo act, we can probably push you this far. You know, it's a personal decision you have to make depending on what you want to do or the choices you feel like is best for you. To me, as far as Statics is concerned, I started to do my production, you know what I mean? And you know Arville Bernard, you know what I mean? We did 4 maps together. So we decided that, okay, now it's always easier when you have a solo project going. And then like just with Tactics, you have everybody that had their interests, you know, so.
Too many chefs in the kitchen?
Well, it's not even that too many chefs in the kitchen. It's just that you have people that have their own personal interests.
Okay.
So you may take it, or you may want to take it to a different level at a certain time. And it's not like they don't want to be involved, but you know, how committed is somebody? There's a lot of people who can say, okay, I want to do this, but how much really go out and make the sacrifices to do it? You know what I mean? So that was, I found, you know what I mean, that can be an obstacle, and that was kind of one of the obstacles in the group where you had only certain people doing the majority of work. You know what I mean? I love the guys, I really, and you know, if the group could last, then it would have, but you know, it became a point where I said, you know what, I have to move forward, you know, for my personal growth that I wanted to grow. So that's why that decision came. And for a lot of other artists who choose to go solo, that's kind of the main reason a lot of times. You know, the goals that they set for themselves and they see, you know, sometimes some other people in the group is not seeing that. So you're not going to sit down and say, okay, all right, I'm going to wait, you know, on other people. You just go forward and do your thing. It's not because you hate everybody. It's not because you don't want to work with people, but it's just like, yo, your speed and their speed is 2 different speeds. So you just got to just move forward and do what you need for the brother.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, man.
So as a solo artist, are there any artists that you look to for inspiration or someone that inspired you early on in your career?
Well, I can tell you something, real talk, you know? From back in the days, you know what I'm saying, and being, you know, in the Lovers Rock era and just love those things. One of my greatest influences was Lionel Richie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And Lionel Richie is one of the first artists that I saw, you know, that I really started to emulate in terms of just his vocal delivery and his, you know, the way he captivated his audiences. You know what I mean? Lionel Richie just, it was simple enough. He could be with his piano doing it, but, you know, just the way he delivered, it captivates you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like, wow. You know, then the other thing about it too, I remember because you see, people used to tell me that me have my mouth big. Okay. You know? Right. So, and you know, if your mouth was too big,
right,
you're on the border, people like you or they don't like you.
Right.
You know, because them say with your mouth too big, you chat too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've always liked to talk. So I had to come to terms with my big mouth.
Right.
And say, you know what, this mouth is not only big, but it's very sexy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I open my mouth and talk or I sing, people take, you know, notice of it.
They pay attention.
Pay attention. So
Yeah.
I came to grips with that and say, you know what, let me exploit this big mouth, you know what I mean? And, you know, make the best out of it.
Right.
And add a little sexiness to it, on top of it. So Lionel Richie, if you know Lionel Richie, you know, I don't know if he's done surgery now, but back in the days when I used to watch him, he had a big mouth.
I don't think it's changed. Not last time I saw him.
No, he hasn't, but, you know, except for he used to have Jerry curls too. Remember one time he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
Jerry curls? So,
Right.
so that was my greatest influence, and I think I've just, you know, modeled myself on my performance like that, and my, you know, if anybody that follows my career knows that, you know, people here see me as the king of lovers rock.
Right.
Because that's primarily what I do, even though now I'm kind of branching out into other aspects of it, but, you know what I mean, that you know, to me, or him to me is my greatest influencer, you know?
So for anyone looking to build a music career here in
Right.
Toronto, What kind of tips would you give someone to help them to grow and develop themselves in this industry? It's competitive.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
But the first thing I'd always say to people, learn the business of music.
Okay.
Learn the business of music, because a lot of people come in and think, okay, you know, I have this great and wonderful talent, you know, I can produce, but they don't know the business of it. And the business includes knowing you're getting your copyrights, being a part of certain, you know, performing rights organization, knowing contracts, how they work, knowing deposits, how they work, just having, you know, a knowledge of the business itself.
Right.
Because that's how you're gonna get paid. And it's nice to have a talent, but if you're just talented and not getting paid, it don't make no sense, bro. You know what I mean? There's too much, and that's when an artist start complaining and cuss and fight against each other, because it's like, how is that person getting paid? How is that person getting the limelight? And I'm not.
Right.
You know, Mark, I've never said to anybody, you know, and I'll be stupid to say that I have the greatest voice. I have a good voice. People love my voice, but I've also spent the time to learn the business, just like your real estate. You know what I mean? I've always said to you, learn the business. You know, well, it's just like me, Bridget, in the music thing, I spent the time to learn the business of music. So now when somebody came to me or comes to me with a contract, I don't just readily sign something because it looks good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the money may look good, but the stipulations may be crazy that you don't even want to get involved. You know what I mean? Then after that, you have to start believing in yourself.
Okay.
And, you know, with this age now, with technology, you know, social media platforms and all of that, the days when you had to depend on a radio station to play your tracks, that's not even necessary no more.
Yeah.
It's good when you hear it on the radio, because those traditional means are still very vital or very important. But there's other ways to get your music out there. So you don't have to sit down and worry about, boy, I don't know this person, so I can't get that to do, you know, or I can't do that. You have to do it yourself. So invest in yourself. And, you know, speaking of investment, music is the music business. You have to spend money. You're going to have to spend money in this business. It's not just going to happen. Things are not just going to happen. People are not just going to do stuff for you. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to sacrifice, and just like any other business, and spend your money if you want to get out there.
Right.
Once you start to get out there, once you start to build your fan base, it becomes a little bit easier.
So what kind of things are you paying for or investing in the music industry?
Well, first and foremost, you know, we listen to commercial stations, and if you notice, we have the same artists that we hear every day, and people like, how comes it's the same artist every day? One record to promote may cost you, even for a lot of those artists, over $1 million and more.
For real?
Yeah, because everybody gets paid, bro. It's not as what you think.
Yeah.
You know, those radio stations just don't take up your song and pay that. They might not want to tell you these things, but me and you are candid about this. Is the reality of the situation. They use what's called producers or music influencers to get their music played. Somebody's getting paid. You know, the bloggers get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's getting paid to do this. You know what I mean? Even if the radio station is not getting paid directly, it's coming. You know, it's being offset by different favors handed down to them. You know what I'm saying? Unless, of course, if you reach a certain stage again where it's more important to have the radio station, or the radio station think that you are important to them enough to continue to play your music because of viewership or listenership or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But it's a game that you have to spend your money. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of it. It's not a cheap business. So you'll hear about some artists continually. I'm in the reggae game. It becomes a little bit easier because, you know what I mean, a couple of your friends, you know, if they're into your music, you know what I mean, you go to a one dance, you buy them to Heineken. buy a bottle of Hennessy.
Right.
Or they just love you so much as a person, where it's like, they say, yo, brother, listen, everything is everything. Don't worry. You know, you have your reputation, so they know if you put a record on, you know, if they put a Steele record on, they don't have to worry about the content because it's been proven that Steele is going to be, you know, delivering good content. That's the same thing for any artist. You have to build your reputation, you know, and more power to you if you can create a team of people, because you can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. And you just keep pushing and believing in yourself.
Okay.
But just understand that it's a game that you're gonna have to spend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the good thing about it is too, you know what I mean, there's, you know, Canadian government has certain entities available. There's like FACT in a lot of places. There's a lot of grants that people can get too. You know what I mean? So if you know, if you want to look into the grants, look into the grants. You'll be surprised. You may qualify for grants to help you with the music. They have video grants, they have radio grants, they have touring grants. Have all kind of grants available.
For real?
Yeah, man, those things are available to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So people just look into it to be surprised what you can accomplish.
Yeah. When you mentioned believing in yourself.
Yeah.
I think I've always been inspired by you because I remember being a kid and going to the studio with you in rehearsals.
Right. Yeah.
Just late nights and there's smoke in the room and being downtown Toronto late, 2, 3 in the morning and then coming back. And from then until now, probably 20, 30 years later, you're still doing it.
Still doing it, man.
So what are you working toward? What's your goal that you're pushing for right now?
Well, I can tell you, you know, you set targets for yourself and you believe in yourself. You know, and no matter the obstacles, you just continue to push and push and push. I'm glad that you didn't come out as a weedhead.
For real? Being exposed so young to that.
Yeah, you could have come out as a weedhead.
Right.
You know, no, I don't tell you what to do. So if you like a little puff,
right,
I'm pass. That's you.
I'm good.
Hey, that's okay. You know, I don't puff and pass either. But you know, from those times I've been focused. I've been steadfast. You know, the greatest thing about the genre I'm in is reggae music. It is not influenced by image, so it's not image driven.
Right.
A lot of different genres are image driven. You could be 100-year-old in the reggae music, and if you come out with a good song that's relevant and people are feeling it, you're gonna be here for a while. I have been fortunate enough. I'm not a young boy at all. You know, I may look sexy and young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I have the good genes. You know, I used to be as muscular as you, but I've kind of toned down a little bit.
A while ago,
yeah. A long while ago, but it's okay. I don't have the 6-pack anymore. It's just a 1-pack, so let me fix my shirt.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I have always, you know, stayed focused, brethren. You know what I mean? I've been fortunate, but I've not been crazy enough to say, you know, this is the only thing, you know, that, you know, I'm going to expect to have an income from, because unfortunately music business comes with no promises. So as long as you can remember me being there, it has never been my only source of income.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. It doesn't make you any promises, but if you love it, you stick with it. I have had my blessings though. I'm not lie, because I'm probably one of the few artists that actually gets to tour across Canada sometime or go to different countries to perform. But in spite of all of that, I have to understand that it doesn't come with a pension plan. You know, I've done every major festival here. I've gone to Africa. I've gone to the States. I do the festivals in Jamaica. But at the same time, you have to, you know, focus and understand that you have to still find a way out when you're older, you know what I mean, to chill, to settle, to retire. You know, you have to set up yourself. You have to keep that focus in mind. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, it doesn't come with a pension plan. So I love it. I stick with it. And I'm blessed because reggae music gives you that. It affords you that where you don't have to be, like I said, you know, worrying about your image. It's not image driven, it's content driven. You know, if you can change your content and, you know, sustain yourself with good and have good fan base, then you're good. You know? Yeah.
Okay. And you have some new music coming out for your fan base right now?
Yeah, well, the new album, Just Breathe, is coming out. And, you know, your pops we're diving into some dancehall thing.
For real? Okay.
Yo, brethren, yo, watch the latest style and fashion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to be on my head top, you know. You know what I mean? So you might see, one of the 2 videos you might see that comes out, you might see some of the women, some of the ladies on their head tops.
Okay.
Because some of the songs are going to require that they're on their head tops, dancing.
Right.
But it's going to be good. And, you know, one of the greatest things that I feel that I have is, you know, the ability to change styles. So versatility has always been very important. You know, like I said, I grew up in the church, so I was influenced by different type of music.
Yeah.
So this album is going to show the versatility once again. The customary lovers rock with the woman and more love, but I have to mix it up with some dancehall for the younger generation, because you have to know to expand your mind. And if you want to stay current, you have to know that you're going to have to switch up certain one of your things. So, you know, it's been a good ride, and I want to shout out, you know what I mean, right now, there's Black Pearl Entertainment and there's Cornerstone Entertainment, major producers on the album, and Mobs Production, major producers on the album. So, you know, we're thankful for that. And June 25th, the CD comes out on CD Baby.
Okay.
So all your fans, if you want to buy a house, You know, Mark is gonna pay for, you know, an album for you. Hey, yes, he is.
Free album included with your house purchase.
Not
for
free,
sure.
yeah, free album.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, he's gonna take care of it. You know what I mean? But look out for that. The 25th is gonna be on CD, baby. It's called Just Breathe from Steele. And you know, and one thing I love about the CD too is the artistic merit. The photo that was done by Peart Media, Dene Peart. I have to shout her out because those pictures are, you know, just it's great. It brings out, you know, my structure, the bone structure.
Of course.
It's very, you know.
You're like a model.
Did I have to tell you?
Right, no, of course.
Of course.
Good genes, good genes.
You know what I mean? But I'm proud of this, you know what I mean? And, you know, again, you know, if anybody wants to follow me on Instagram, I'm up to the time, you know. I'm up to the time. So just check out Instagram at Steele, Steele _mobs, or on Facebook, you know, at Steele mobs. And just follow up the thing. Send me an email through my youth. I'm doing thing, you know. And I'm proud of you, brethren. You know, I was worried for you at one no, I wasn't.
It's been a journey. It has been a journey.
It has been a journey. You know what I mean? I used to have to get the calls about this guy, you know what I mean? I'd have to just tone him down, threaten that he's going to have to come by my house and pay rent.
Yo, long time ago.
Long time ago, man. Long time ago. But, you know, it's been a journey. So I'm proud of you as a child, and you know, you have your brothers and sisters that we, you know, it's been a good ride, brethren, and I'm glad to be, you know, an influence.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So
I appreciate it. Any last words for the viewers out there?
No, I've always said believe in yourself, you know. Support Mark Steele and his endeavors. What you see is what you get. There's no switching, there's no fake thing what you see from this youth. You know, that's why when I talk to people about real estate, I recommend him just because I know that this guy is cutting on my own little vein. So he's not too proud, you know what I mean? He doesn't do anything like that, you know? And you already know because obviously you're following Steele anyways, you're following Mark. But the reality of the situation is, you know, he's good people. Sometimes I tell him to cut his commission and he's willing to do that because at the end of the day, it's... Why you're not willing to do that?
Go ahead. Keep talking.
At the end of the day, it's all about relationship. You know what I mean? It's not about the dollars and cents so much. It's about building strong relationships. I firmly believe that because, you know, that's the way you keep growing and growing. So if I was to say one thing to everybody is just, you know, keep believing in yourself, support the community, support the endeavors that's going on right now. Support Steele, check me out. Mark Steele, you already know. Continue to support him. And we're good like that, you know what I mean? And just love yourself first and always respect people, you know?
Appreciate that. Happy Father's Day.
You don't know? Yeah.
Appreciate you, Dad. Thank you for everything.
Well, you don't know. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, you know what I mean? And there's some mothers that are fathers too. Want to bless them up. And even if this comes out after Father's Day, continue to be, you know, the influence in your child's life or in your children's life. If you don't know your child or know how much you have, go find them. You know, go find them.
They're out there. Facebook is out there now, so there's no excuse.
No excuse. The programs now you can put in your last name or put in a name, and even if you think this could be your child, go investigate. So even if Father's Day is gone, be a good influence in your child's life, and you know, you'll be surprised that child can come up to be one of the greatest influencers and love you for who you are. Real thing, you know? So blessings every time.
Appreciate that.
Every time. Aye.
Thanks, Dad.
No problem.
That's it.
That's it, man. Yeah.
Simple enough.